folks. So continuing the journey towards the countdown for the big chop, today I decided to share with you the journey of Bubba and how we came to meet her. So first of all, I should say I have 3 dogs in the house. You can see them playing behind me there. So if you hear some growls and rough and tumble, they're just playing, don't worry. So when we got to Thailand, obviously I mentioned that there were a lot of dogs in the compound, and 3 in particular took a bit of a shine to us. And anytime we would leave and come back, they would rush up to the car, and they were very excited to see us, and they became our companions really. There were a lot of other dogs as well that would come up to you, but none were quite as friendly and didn't take quite such a shine to us as these 3. They all had very similar markings, so perhaps they were brother and sister, relations in some way, but we were never too sure. And Bubba in particular was very close to my heart. She would come to school with me, she would sit by my feet as I taught. The other teachers didn't seem to mind too much, although I think if the principal had seen it, he might not have been too happy, but thankfully he never did. And it was really nice. All the kids were quite shocked in a way to sort of see these stray dogs, wild dogs, interacting with humans and generally being friendly. And a lot of the kids and even the adults were quite afraid of the dogs. You know, they didn't know how to approach them. They would shy away or, you know, hold their hands up, and obviously that makes it a lot worse. They seemed to think that the dogs were very hostile and not friendly towards humans, and surprisingly they actually didn't have much of a fear of humans. It was the humans who were afraid of them more than anything. So back to Bubba. Obviously the dogs didn't have anywhere to sleep indoors, and it's Thailand, so it's pretty hot. They always lay out in the big long grass. And every morning I would wake up and call for the dogs, and they would come running and say hello, and we'd give them some breakfast. And Bubba in particular would be covered in these brown dog ticks. Massive big ticks, like the size of your baby fingernail. They were really, really big. And she would have up to 30 or 40 of them on her body every day. So every morning I would come down, rub the ticks, pull them off, making sure their heads didn't tear off, and get rid of them. But sure thing, the next morning they would all be back again because they just lived on her in the long grass. Hello, sweetheart. Hi. This is Lilo, actually. Hi. This is Lilo, and she's another success story. She was rescued from the hurricane in Guatemala. Her lovely mummy Lindsay has given her a lovely second chance at life too. So there you go. Yes, I'm talking about another doggy right now. I am, yeah. Where was I? Yeah, so I would remove the ticks every day, hoping that might do something, but you know, they kept reappearing, and she was extremely thin. And obviously the ticks were annoying her, so she would be scratching all the time, and she had bald patches and things like that. So before I left, I knew I needed to do something. I knew I couldn't just build this relationship with this dog and just leave her and abandon her. So I started looking into charities in the area, and the Temple Dogs of Thailand was one of the first ones that came up. So I contacted Josette, the girl who runs the charity, and I just sort of asked her, you know, what can I do to help? What would be the best thing that I could do to leave money, to buy some food? What can I do? And she got back to me and said that the best thing I could do would be to take her to a vet and get her neutered and get her injections. So that's exactly what I did. Josette put me in touch with another girl who provided transportation, Nadine, and she was absolutely fantastic. I couldn't have wished for a better helper. You know, she picked myself and Jessica up at the school, and we put the dog in the car along with another dog that she had already picked up, going to the same vet. The other dog was throwing up everywhere, obviously not used to the car, hating this journey. Bubba just sat there, no problem whatsoever, like, okay, let's go on a journey. And we dropped the dogs off at the vet and got them checked out, and he gave her some injections against the parvo and rabies, and to help with her bloods, because the ticks had actually been taking so much blood from her that was what was making her ill. And then we left the vet to get her neutered, and Nadine brought us back to her home. She had to go out for a lunch, and she just left Jessica and I to it in her home. She let us use her pool and make lunch for ourselves and play with her cats, and you know, she didn't know us at all. We could have been anybody. I mean, thankfully we weren't, and we were very respectful, but just that level of trust from somebody that didn't know us, and yeah, I've just very, very thankful for that, because without her we wouldn't have had transport, and we wouldn't have been able to get Bubba to the vet. And after a couple of hours we went back. She dropped us back to pick up Bubba, and she was a little bit sad, a little bit feeling sorry for herself, but she'd got the operation done and she was okay. And we brought her back to the school, and obviously she had bandages over her stitches, and within a couple of days she'd of course ripped off the bandages, because you couldn't watch her every second of the day. But she thankfully wasn't actually able to get at the stitches, so the stitches remained intact. We took her back, I think it was in a couple of weeks, 7 days, and got the stitches removed, and that was her, happy and healthy. So most recently I was sent a photograph of her by one of the Thai teachers who I specifically asked to keep an eye on her, and he sent me a gorgeous, gorgeous picture of her. She is putting on weight, she's really healthy looking, obviously no babies. She looks really, really happy, and I'm just to say again, like, every dog deserves a second chance. They don't deserve to be knocked on the road, or to be used as a puppy factory, or to die of some horrible death, or eaten by ticks or anything, you know. It really doesn't cost an awful lot to get dogs neutered in Thailand, or to get them vaccinated. And I will speak more about that in my next video, outlining all of the costs, how much it costs to neuter a dog in Thailand, how much food costs, vaccinations, so you know exactly where your money would be going to. The countdown is on, folks. Please dig deep and let's get this ball rolling. Thanks, bye.